We all love pictures, and one of the advantages of the computer is that it enables us to draw pictures. And pictures sometimes, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Sometimes a picture can reveal things that might not be that obvious without the picture. So here's an example. Here's a map of Salem Village. Now, every year at Halloween, we all drive up to Salem Village and everybody celebrates the witches. And it's a rather nasty custom, considering that what we're celebrating is that some women got burnt at the stake, some got squeezed to death, etc. But anyway, here's Salem Village. And what we're told is that these women were possessed. This was in 1692, I believe. But, you know, what one historian did was he looked at this and he said, all right, let me map out the addresses of the, who were the accusers. So those are the little A's over here. So for example, there's an A, there's an A, there's an A. And if you look, all the accusers tend to come on this side, from this side of the line. All the defenders, the ones who are defending the fact that they're being accused of being a witch, tend to come from this side of the line. So they're from this side of the line. There are some, it's not perfect. There's a defender there. Maybe they didn't like that one, and that didn't like that one there. All the accusers around that defender didn't like that one. But the point is that there's a tremendous geographic pattern here that requires some explanation. And I'm just using this for introduction because what we have available to us to help us in telling our story with numbers is the computer and various graphic tools. So let me just look at a couple of these tools. The first one we're going to look at is the bar chart. And let's go back to a categorical variable we spoke about, namely blood type. We said, here's a categorical variable. It takes on 4 values, A, B, O. And we said we could label these as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, what we might be interested in is the distribution of these values. What do I mean by that? Well, the distribution is how is this blood type distributed around the population. So, for example, the Red Cross tells us that 42% of us in the US have blood type A, 10% of us have got blood type B, 4% type AB, and 44% type 0. How can we display this graphically? What we can do is we can draw a bar chart. And here's a bar chart. And it's pretty much what it says. You draw a bar over the label. So there's the bar for A, there's the bar for B, there's the bar for AB, and there's the bar for O. And the height here is 42 because that corresponds to the percent. So the height is the percentage. And so there we have it. We can see the distribution of these 4 blood types in the population. The nice thing about bar charts is that we can put them side by side when we're looking at different groups. So for example, the Red Cross continues to break things down by ethnic group, and they use 4 groups, and we see that there are the distributions for all 4 groups. Now, we look at this, and we could study this and get some understanding of how these distributions vary. Alternatively, if we just draw the bar charts, put them side by side, we get an immediate picture of what's going on. So, for example, the first thing that hits us probably, well, I don't know, maybe something different for you, but for me, the first thing that hit me was this. There's excess here of blood type B for Asian Americans. And of course, there has to be a corresponding diminution here or somewhere to make up for that excess. So like that, we can put them side by side and get an idea of how these distributions vary by group. Or we could just do a total, here, a total graph of all of this. Here are some bar charts displaying how European countries were ranked by total tobacco control score. So what the score is a score that adds up to 100, and each country is judged by how much they're doing in trying to achieve tobacco control. And here we have it. The top country is Ireland and has that bar. The next country down is UK, and then Norway, and so on. And we can see how this varies amongst the European countries. Okay, so that's a bar chart.